Today, we will be reacting to the Ringer's top 100 ranked NBA players to end last NBA season. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that I like to rank things, and it's the off season, so I'm gonna start ranking, teams, players, point guards, everything on this channel very soon. So I thought, hey, now is the best time to react to the quote-unquote experts top 100 player rankings. I will of course be dropping my own top 100 player rankings probably closer to the NBA season actually starting. Let's get into it. Of course, if you guys are new around here, make sure to sub up. At number 100, we have Al Horford, which he's getting kind of old. I don't know. We got to see who's around this tier because he's probably closer to 120 in the rankings, if we're being honest. RJ Barrett at 99. I mean, I don't hate it. Jabari Smith at 98. Derek Lively, 97. He is only a rookie, or he was only a rookie in his last season. I feel like he could be higher. Sexton had a really good year. Brandon Miller at 95. Okay. I feel like B-Mill could be closer to like 70. I mean, I got to see who's in that range. I know he as well was only a rookie, but he had a really good rookie year. He looks like he will be a star. Nothing too crazy to start off the list, although I think Al Horford is probably not in the top 100 anymore. Who do we have up here? Nick Claxton at 94 and Dante DiVincenzo at 93. I mean, I know he had a really good year. Now he's going to be coming off the bench next season. This is the thing. I'm cool with Dante at 93, but if you're going to have Dante DiVincenzo at 93, you cannot have Brandon Miller at 95. I mean, Brandon Miller's got to be at least 15, 20 spots above Dante DiVincenzo in my mind. I know there's going to be some crazy Knicks fans watching this. And yeah, I know. I watched Dante in the playoffs. They had a lot of injuries. They needed him, and he stepped up. He played really good, but 93 is a little crazy when you got guys like Brandon Miller, or I would put Derek Lively over him, and probably Jabari Smith as well. Now, right above Dante DiVincenzo is Emmanuel Quickley, and this is going to be one of my favorite players going into next season. I think he's going to have a really good year. Now, I assume this ranking is pretty much based off what they've done, not what they, really have the potential to do next year. But yeah, Quickley at 92, I think next season he's going to be very high on the list, in the top 50 potentially. Mike Conley at 91. I mean, he's just a floor general, nothing crazy. Brogdon at 90. We just got kind of mid players at the bottom of the list, so let's kind of speed through this. Hartenstein had a really good season. Josh Hart at 98. Norman Powell in the top 100 at 87. I mean, he can get buckets, but that's kind of it. There's some guys below him that I think should be above him. Like, I got Emmanuel Quickley above him, Nick Claxton, Brandon Miller. I think the Norman Powell ranking is a little bit crazy. It's a little crazy. Marcus Smart, 86. I don't mind it. Trey Murphy at 85. He could be higher. I think he could be closer to 75. I mean, we got to see who they have. Kyle Kuzma down at 84. That's a little surprising. I feel like Kuzma should be closer to, 60. They got him a little bit low. Dylan Brooks, 83. I don't like Dylan Brooks, being a Warriors fan. He used to be on the Grizzlies. We had a little rivalry, but he's not god awful. He's not terrible, but 83 might be a little too high for him. He could be closer to 90. I mean, like, Kyle Kuzma is below Dylan Brooks. Are we for real? Kyle Kuzma should not be below Dylan Brooks. And also, I mean, Trey Murphy shouldn't be either. Marcus Smart shouldn't be either. I mean, I guess Norman Powell could be, but like, I don't know. Dylan Brooks, that's a little crazy. KCP at 82, he's a winning player. He doesn't jump off the screen at you when you watch him play, but I don't mind that. Jonathan Kuminga, 81. This is a guy that I think can take a huge jump next season. We saw it at the end of last year. 81, I'm cool with. I think if you were to go any higher, like in the top 70, that's a little crazy. But I think by the end of next year, Kuminga could be a top 50 player in the NBA. He has that potential. Tyler Hero at 80. I mean, who do they got above him? Because Tyler Hero is a bucket. Naz Reid at 79. I'm cool with it. Zach LaVine at 78. His value is kind of low. I mean, I know he has a crazy contract. A lot of NBA teams just don't really want him. He can score. His defense is pretty mid. I mean, I don't know. He's kind of a weird player. Miles Turner, 77. We got AR-15 at 76. Anthony Simons, 75. Devin Vassell, 74. Jalen Suggs at 73. I do think Jalen Suggs is one of the more underrated players in the entire NBA. I feel like 73 might be a little too high for him. He could probably be closer to 80. Jalen Johnson at 72. Jeremy Grant at 71. Bradley Beal down at 70. Last year was not good for him, and I just think he's so injury prone. So I honestly don't hate this ranking. I'm pretty low on Bradley Beal, but it's just crazy to see you know, his fall off. Jalen Green at 69. He's just such an up and down player. Like, the potential is there. The sky's the limit, but he's just so inconsistent. CJ McCollum down at 68. Interesting. They got Herb Jones, his teammate, above him. And listen, I'm a big Herb Jones guy. I am. You're going to hear me talk about him a lot on this channel. But above CJ, I don't know. I can't get behind that yet. I can't yet. Maybe 2 years from now, but I don't know. I know Herb's defense is some of the best in the game. That's a tough one. MPJ at 66. Okay, Jaden McDaniels 65. I mean, I get it because you're putting him in that range with Herb Jones, but like, I don't know. Jaden McDaniels 65 is kind of crazy to me. That's a little high. That feels a little high to me. That does. Alex Caruso 64. I don't hate it. I feel like he should be probably closer to 70. Kobe White 63. He deserves it after a really good year. You know, the Bulls had a ton of injuries and he stepped up to the plate big time. Brook Lopez 62. I feel like Brook is kind of falling off. Like, his numbers took a dip last season compared to the year before. Yeah, he is still a solid rim protector, can still stretch the floor, which is perfect for that Bucks team. But I feel like if he was on a lot of other teams, it wouldn't work as well. But because he's alongside Giannis and he's able to stretch the floor, I think it does work. I would have Brook lower, you know, probably in the 70s. Fred had a really good year at 61. Cade Cunningham is at 60. Now, I know the Pistons were like the worst team in the league, but I think Cade has definitely star potential. I was going to say superstar potential. I think he's going to be really good. And I know this is based on what happened. 60 seems really low to me. Like, you got Cade Cunningham with like the Brook Lopez's of the world, the Kobe, like, that's just too low for me. It just is. And then they got LaMelo Ball. So, what are we doing here? LaMelo Ball is a top 30 player. He's a top 30 player. Are we factoring in the injury proneness to LaMelo? Because again, his ankles are really bad. But like, LaMelo and Cade should be way higher. They got Franz Wagner down at 58. He should probably be higher as well. Chris Middleton at 57. He's a great player, but I'm putting Franz over him. I'm definitely putting LaMelo Ball at this point in their career over him. And I'm putting Cade Cunningham over him. Chris Middleton needs to be lower, and a lot of those guys need to be higher. Aaron Gordon, 56. He's vital to that Nuggets team. Great defender. I'm not too mad at this, but I'd probably have Aaron Gordon closer to like 65-ish, 60, 65. OG Anunoby with Aaron Gordon, kind of similar type players, defensive minded or defensive first type players. Darius Garland, he had a pretty bad year. I feel like he could be a little lower. I'm not projecting him for next year, but based on what we just saw, I feel like Garland could be lower. Draymond Green, 53. I'm cool with it. I'm a big Draymond guy. I think he's very smart and a very good defender. Evan Mobley, 52. I'm not a big Evan Mobley fan, but I think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be good. Last year wasn't the best. It was okay, but we're still waiting for that Evan Mobley breakout. So I don't hate this ranking. I don't. DeJounte Murray, 51. Interesting. Mikal Bridges, 50. People thought maybe he could be the superstar, you know, face of the franchise for the Nets. It didn't work out. Now, of course, he's with the Knicks. I feel like last time I did this reaction to the top 100 rankings, Mikal Bridges was like higher up. Like, he was probably closer to 30. So good adjustment on them dropping him down, because he's just not really a top 30 player. He's not. DeMar, 49. That's respectable. Jarrett Allen had a great season at 48. Desmond Bane at 47 is interesting, because having Bane at 47 and then having Tyler Hero at like 80 or whatever they had him at, that's a big gap for two players that I think are kind of similar. Like, is the gap that big? I don't think so. I don't think so. Then you got Jaren, his teammate, right above him. Julius Randle, which I've seen some trade rumors. Julius for Jaren Jackson. It's just like some fan trade rumors on Twitter. It's not actually gonna happen, but I've seen some talk of Jaren and Julius Randle like trades, you know, just Knicks fans being optimistic. Alperen Sengun being 44 is kind of crazy to me. Putting Sengun next to Randle and Jaren, to me, is a little crazy. Of course, I'm a big Alperen fan. I am. I think he should be top 30. Is that crazy to say? I mean, I think he could be the face of a franchise. 44 is a little crazy. Chet Holmgren at 43. I think you got to have Alperen above him. What did Chet do? He was a better defender, better rim protector. I mean, maybe, yeah, actually, there's a little bit of a case. He's better defense. He can shoot the ball, but Sengun, as much of a, like, he's just a facilitator. He can run an offense. I think you gotta have Sengun over Chet, but it's not too bad. It's not crazy. Porzingis at 42. It is what it is. Scotty Barnes down at 41. You know, I kind of expected him to be higher up. J-Dub at 40 is very interesting. I feel like J-Dub is a player that will never be the #1 option, but he's a very good 2 or 3 option on a team. Like he is that, like, you know what I'm saying? He's a very good complementary piece. Don't hate it. He could probably be closer to 50. Like Scotty should probably be above him. Sengun, Chet, probably Julius. Like, I don't know. I think J-Dub could be a little bit lower. James Harden at 39. Don't hate it. Drew Holiday 38 was big for the Celtics. They got Derek White right above him. I don't hate it. I think Derek White and Drew are kind of hand in hand. They kind of go, you know, right after one another. And Trae Young at 36. Here we go. Here we go. They wrote divisive pudulence. I've never seen that word in my life. If you've seen that word before, let me know in the comments, because I swear they might be just making up words at this point. Controversial and capable of being an offense unto himself. Like, this is the thing. Trae Young is one of the best offensive players in the NBA. And I think next season, with the departure of DeJounte Murray, Trae is going to average like 30 and 10. He just is. But his defense is very much so lacking. 36 is too low for Trae Young. Like, he's just got to be higher. He's got to be closer to 30, maybe 28, somewhere around there. Like, that's cool. But 36 is a little disrespectful. Brandon Ingram, 35 feels about right. Rudy Gobert, 34. I know he's this crazy defensive player of the year, but like, I would have him lower personally. I would just have him lower because he's such a liability on offense. And I mean, I'm gonna say it, Luka destroyed him on that 1 3-pointer. I mean, it just keeps coming to my mind. I know he's more of a paint presence and he's an interior defender, but like, I don't know. Like, he's just 34 is kind of crazy for someone that has no offensive bag. That's all I'm saying. Pascal at 33 feels about right. Cat at 32. Tyrese Maxey 31. Ja Morant at 30. This is the thing. If you're gonna rank Ja, rank him correctly. I know he missed time. He had all the legal trouble. He had the injuries. He played, I think, like 9 games or something, 12 games, something really low. But if you're gonna rank Ja, rank him correctly. Ja should be like top 15 if we're being realistic, but I know there's going to be a lot of players in this list that went crazy this year, so it's hard to put Ja above them. But if we're being real, you got to have at least Ja top 20. Like, 30 is kind of crazy. Like, you got Ja behind Lauri Markkanen. Be for real. Be for real for a second. Who made this? Who made this article? Ja behind Lauri Markkanen is borderline psychotic. It is. And Lauri's been playing great for the Jazz, but it's the Jazz, a team with not many options. I do think Lauri's underrated, and I don't mind his ranking, but Ja is misranked. Paolo, I'm a big Paolo guy. 29 is fine for now. I think by the end of next year, he'll be very much, you know, higher on rankings like this. Damian Lillard had a bad year. I don't mind 27 for him. Domantas Sabonis, 26. One of the craziest all-star snubs that I've seen in recent memory. Should probably be higher. Should probably be closer to top 20. Who are they going to have above Sabonis and Ja? Let's find out. Kyrie Irving, 25. Okay. Okay, he's a clutch performer. Bam Adebayo, 24. Don't hate it. Paul George at 23. You know, personally, I'm going Ja over Paul George at this point in time. I just am. I'm going Ja over Paul George. Paul could be top 30, but 23 is a little too high for him. De'Aaron Fox, 22, don't mind it. Zion at 21 is interesting. We saw what he can do in the play-in against the Lakers. He absolutely erupted, 40 points, but then he got injured, and then they ended up losing that game. They ended up getting into the playoffs where they got swept, but Zion was hurt, and that's the thing with Zion. He's always hurt. So I do feel like that has to take into account his ranking here a little bit. I don't know. Should it? Because then we got to take it into account for everybody. He could be a little bit lower. He just could. I think he could. Jamal Murray at 20. He's a guy that, like, yeah, he's a playoff performer. He had, what, 2 game winners against the Lakers in this playoff run for them, which ended pretty short. But I think Jamal Murray should be lower. Like, I'm putting Ja over him. Probably Bam. Maybe Kyrie. I put Sabonis over him. You know, Lillard, I don't know. There's a lot of guys. Jamal should be lower, closer to 30. Jimmy Butler's another guy that I'm not a big believer in. Like, believer's kind of crazy. I think he's a little overrated. That's what I'm gonna say. I think Jimmy's a little overrated, and I think he should be closer to 25. He's never on the court, and that's a problem. He's 34 now, probably turning 35, entering season 13. I'd have Jimmy closer to 30 as well. Tyrese Halliburton at 18. Wemby at 17. I like this. I like the Wembanyama respect. because a lot of people are they're not there yet with him. They're not there with Wemby. But like, have you watched him play? Like, you got to ask people that question when they're talking about Wemby, if they're bashing him, which not many people do. But yeah, I think Wemby, if there's any centers other than Jokic and Embiid above him, I'll have a problem with that, because I think Wemby's the third best center in the NBA right now. And I think they have it right. I think they have it right. But by the end of next year, of course, the Spurs probably aren't going to win much, but I think Wemby's going to be top 10 by the end of next year. Maybe top 5 is crazy because you kind of got to win to be top 5. But Wemby could be like top 8 next year by the end of next season. By the end of next season, Wemby top 8. Donovan Mitchell at 16. Don't hate it. Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, 15. I like it. Kawhi at 14. Interesting. Again, I wonder how much of the injury stuff is playing into this ranking, because if he's fully healthy, which he kind of never is, so you probably shouldn't rank him as a fully healthy Kawhi. If you were, though, he'd probably be closer to like number 8, number 9. D Book at 13 is interesting. I'm putting Kawhi over him. And then you got the debate, Jaylen Brown or Donovan Mitchell over D Book. I mean, honestly, give me Jaylen Brown over Devin Booker. As crazy as it sounds, like, does it sound crazy? I don't know. Give me Jaylen Brown. Give me Finals MVP Jaylen Brown over Devin Booker. Their offensive bags are kind of similar. Yeah, you lean D Book most likely, but Jaylen Brown is one of the best defenders in the league. So give me Brown. LeBron at 12. He's still good. He's about to be 40. He's still good. Jalen Brunson at number 11. Well deserved. Well deserved. I'll give it to him. AD at number 10. One of the best, two-way players offensively, defensively in the entire NBA. Can't hate it. KD at number 9. Feel like that's about right. I feel like he is kind of falling off. He's not the same player that he used to be. Still good. Still a great player, but not the same KD that we used to know. Anthony Edwards at number 8. I honestly feel like that's about right. Steph Curry at number 7. Okay. You got Embiid above him at number 6. I can't get too mad at it, bro. Embiid was averaging 35 points per game before he got hurt. Yeah, if we're talking playoffs, Curry blows him out of the water. Curry's clutch. We remember the game 7 against the Celtics. He dropped 50 points to, actually, no, not the Celtics, the Kings, against the Kings, where it got him through the first round of the playoffs. Embiid is a known playoff choker. So if we're factoring in playoffs, yeah, maybe you got Curry over Embiid, but 35 points per game. Curry's getting old. He's going to be turning 37. We got Tatum at number 5. I mean, I feel like some people are going to have some problems with that. Personally, Embiid over Tatum. Like, he's just a better player. For someone that can score 35 points per game, I'm not trying to make it all about points, but that's insane. How many players in the NBA history have done that? I gotta go and beat over Tatum. He couldn't come away with the Finals MVP. Yeah, he won the Finals, which is a big thing. I'm not trying to bash him or the Celtics, but like, come on. You're gonna be the 5th best player, but you can't even win Finals MVP. I mean, it is what it is. SGA at number 4 feels about right for him, and Giannis at number 3, Luka at number 2, and of course Jokic at number 1. Now, what I want to say, the conversation around Giannis is interesting. I saw a video from Kenny Beecham where he was discussing Giannis, and I think it's interesting because he's so good offensively, but defensively he's also DPOY caliber. So I feel like there's a case for him over Luka. As much as Luka just went off, Luka, we saw it. He doesn't really play defense. So there's a real case for Giannis to be number 2 and Luka to be 3, even maybe Luka number 4 with SGA above him. If you guys made it this far, of course, click the red subscribe button. We're on the road to 3K subs. I have so much fire content coming to you guys this off season. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.